Hi, this is Pat Dignan from Image Arts with the last of the 5-part videos on creating this 3D box. As you can see in the preview here, I've added some more lights and changed the camera angle a little bit. I've also added what's called a bump map onto the box itself to make the words "box of air" kind of pop out of the box as if it had been embossed. Here we'll rotate the camera around here, and you can see our setup a little bit more. Each one of these black squares here is a light. This one's obviously on top, casting down on the top. We've got this one over here acting kind of as a fill card. It's turned down pretty darn low. This is our primary light right here. When you can see here on the corner, we're getting a nice highlight coming across the top of the box in the top corner there, and on the letters from this light here. And if we here, we'll pull that off there and do a low-res render here real quick, and you can see how it goes through and does a lighting solution first, and then starts drawing in each of the squares. Each one of those little yellow squares represents one of the CPUs on my computer here. I have an 8-core Mac Pro, so it's churning away at this pretty quick. This is what would be considered a low quality render. I have the settings for the quality on things like shadows turned down fairly low. That's why we're getting this kind of stair-steppy, choppy thing going on. We're also getting a little bit of noise up in the corner here, and a little noise on there. I have it set like that so that it renders real quick for us to show it right here. And you can see the effect that the bump map is having, where it's making it look like it's embossed. You can also see in the corners here where we have nice rounded corners, and we can see the way that it's folded like a real box. It's not just an extruded box or whatever in 3D there. Especially if this was rendered really high res, you could see the detail in there. Here we'll close this and change the image that goes on the box. Here we'll jump into here, change it from box of air design 2, and we'll hit render again. What that's done is changed the image that's mapped onto the box. It's very much like in Quark or InDesign, where you just update a picture that's already been placed in there. So you have two pictures that are the exact same size, and you can just swap them out basically in Quark or InDesign. It's kind of the same thing here, where we can load up two different pictures and just swap them out by telling it which image to use. And here we have a new version of our box of air with different colorization on it. And this is kind of an example of how we can create versions of packaging designs very quickly that all have, for all intents and purposes, are exactly the same picture, but with different packaging on them, so that there's and they can look absolutely photorealistic, so that when you show this to a client, they really get a strong feel for what the box is going to look like. We can also do animations where this box would, say, rotate around, so that they could see all sides of it, that kind of thing. Well, that pretty much concludes our series of videos here. This box is a very simple project. Things can get a lot more complex, but I hope this gives you a feel for kind of the steps that you go through making something in 3D, how it's modeled, textured, lit, and rendered. And if you have any more questions or anything, feel free to shoot me an email. My email address is pdignan, D-I-G-N-A-N, @imageartsonline.com. Thanks.